What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dev Marketer channel. Today we are going to be working on the scope of work. We're actually going to outline it like we talked about in the previous video. So if you're just joining for us for the first time, you might want to go catch up on the previous videos. All those are in the description. Okay, so the last video we talked about kind of this flow that we want to have when we're building a website. And now I actually want to go through and start breaking these sections up a little bit more just so we know what we're planning to accomplish so that we can start building these features once we get to the wireframe and design phase, which will be coming up in the next few videos. Okay, so again, I'm going to follow this from a very high level. Normally I would spend a lot of time doing this and I would create all this in an official document that I get the client to sign and agree to. But for today's video, because I'm just doing this for myself, I just want to outline it so that I and you guys have an idea for what we need to accomplish. And then after that, we can dive into the wireframe. But just keep in mind that normally you'll want to spend a lot more time on this if you're working for you're working for a client or whatever on this. But the idea is to think about every element of the project. Okay, like, is there a terms of service page? Great. We need to get that to the lawyer. So you want to put in the scope of work that this is required. We can't do this until we get it from your lawyer, the terms of service and the privacy policy. Is there a subscribe page? Great. Okay, if there is, we want to not only mark that, but then we want to say, what is it going to tie to? Is it going to tie to MailChimp or Campaign Monitor or Sendy or whatever? What's it tying? What are we subscribing to? Are there multiple lists? Which lists are they subscribing to? That kind of stuff. Is there a login? Is there a sign-up form? If there is, what are they registering? Is there, Facebook login? Is there Twitter login? Is there Google login? Is there whatever? You really want to break this up. And if you have those, you want to put those into things that the client needs. So when you start thinking about this, think about what you need from the client, what you can do, and what you need. So, for example, with the login form, if they're going to log in, let's say they want log in with Facebook and log in with Google and log in with Twitter. That's great. You can code that. You need to allot for the time it takes to develop that. But you also need stuff from the client. You need to now tell the client to go out and say, hey, I need your API keys for Facebook and the API keys for Twitter, the API keys for Google Plus or whatever. And so those are things I need from you guys. So you want to think about all this stuff and think about how it works. If you get to something like a voting or something page, think about same thing. Like, well, how do we register a vote? Do different users have different, do they get 2 or 3 votes? Do other ones get 1? Like, you got to think about all the specifics, write it down, and do that. So we're going to gloss over this, but just think about the fact that when you're doing this for yourself, you want as much information as possible, and you want to make sure that anything you need from the client, you put in the scope of work so that when you're waiting around for the client to do their job, that you can say, well, the reason we're waiting around is because we need this stuff done and it's on you. So let's take a look here. We've got our idea dump over here. This is the stuff that we wanted. I really like this information architecture we built. This is kind of the way we want the website to be organized. We have a learn section, a discuss section, and a share section, which I think is really, really cool. And then, let's see. And then we kind of broke this up. So we've already done a lot of this and how we want to accomplish this. So let's just take a look let's start by listing all the pages that we need this project to have. Okay, so our pages, let's go ahead and just list these here. We obviously have a home page. Then we have a login page and a register page. Okay, so those are all going to be pretty basic. So we've got all those. Register, sign up, yeah, whatever. We'll just leave it the same. We'll probably have a subscribe page where you can subscribe to an email newsletter, which I need to get on top of because I haven't got that sent out yet. We're generally going to have a terms of service page, privacy policy. Then after that, let's see, we're going to have, these are just kind of the generic stuff. You probably need a contact form. These are just things basically every website needs. Then you're going to have let's start with the learn section. And what do we need? Well, we're going to have video posts and text posts. Every post will be able to share to social media, blah, blah, blah. Easily organized, markdown, blah, blah, blah. Searching videos. Okay, so we have searching videos. Let's go ahead and make sure we're going to need a search page, search results page. I'm thinking of everything that we need to create a view for in Laravel when we do this. So if we need to create a view for it, then we need to make a page for it. So we need a view for our contact form, for our search results, for all that stuff. What do we got here? Find videos by skill. So we'll have like a skill search page, skill, or show all, show videos by skill. Okay. Okay, and then we actually have our video and our text post. So we need a video post, a text post. Then we're going to have some videos may not have a series or they're on their own. Oh, we'll need a view to show a series view, show all videos in a series. Okay, so we have a series like how to build a blog with Laravel. We want one page that shows all the videos, maybe an overview and stuff like that. That's kind of the page I'm talking about. Then you have your video post, so an individual page that shows one video, probably a description, things like that. Then you have your text post. This is like a blog post. Show videos by skill. This is basically allows you to click like APIs. You click that and it would show all the videos that relate to APIs, kind of like tags. Skills are going to be kind of like tags. It'll probably be a specific type of tag, but it'll be like a variant of a tag. So we got all that. Okay, great. What else do we got? Combine videos. Let's say that's pretty good. Okay, that should be pretty good. Now we have all this back end stuff we haven't talked about yet, but this is the front end stuff. All right, so then after that, we're going to have a, let's see. Let's also put category on here. So category and skill, there we go. All right, next we're going to have our, our discuss section. Let's see what things we need for this. So for the discuss section, we have a vote on upcoming videos. Users can submit a video idea. Other users can upvote the idea. Ideas are sorted by most popular votes, and you must have a way to sort them, okay? So that's basically the voting. So again, voting is gonna be similar to something like Reddit. Let's just go to Reddit real quick. Okay, so Reddit, something like this. You can see we've got a post. This is basically an index page. Shows all the posts. We can vote them up, vote them down. Inside of here, you click on it, and then you can go and you've got your what is this? This is a weird post, but anyway, so you click on it, and then you've got this actually is the post, right? And then there's comments on here. So we need to create this page basically, and then we'll have our index page that we'll need to create. And then also, like if you were to submit a new link, we need to pick a page where you can submit a new link. So those are kind of like the 3 pages I'm thinking you would need. So you're gonna have, because yeah, you'll read all the pages here, you submit a post, you can upvote, but you can do that from here. Comments, share, all that's basically on this same page. When you come in here, you have a detailed version of that and comments, and that's basically it. So we just need those 3 views. So let's go ahead and put those over here. So scope of work, we're going to have a, what are we calling this? Oh, sorry, I'm confused. This is what I was talking about. This is the share section. This is to vote upcoming videos, but it's basically the same thing. You basically submit a video idea, then other people can vote it up, and then you need a page that shows all the video ideas, and then you need, a page that allows you to see the details of the video idea with like more of a longer description or pictures or something. So it's basically the same thing. In fact, we could probably, let's call it. So let's call voting. We'll call it video voting index, video voting, submit new idea, video voting, and then we'll have like a detailed details or description. Perfect. Now for the let's go ahead and while we're looking at, let's just do the Reddit style post. So we'll call it share. Share posts, index, share posts, submit, new post, and then share posts, details, or description. Perfect. Okay. And that's basically it. Yeah, show author, that's everything. Perfect. We are going to want we'll have show the author and then we'll link to the author's page. So every user will have like a public profile. Let's go and put that in here. Public profile for each user. Okay, now let's see. Let's just while we're here, we'll do resources, then we'll come back to the forum. So resources, we'll just need a page, resources, index showing all available resources, and then we'll need a resources detailed page that's just going to focus on one resource that we have available. Perfect. And that's it. Yeah, that's all we need. Now we got forums. So forums are going to be organized by channel. We need a page that shows all of the like popular forums. So we'll have a forum index page. Okay. We'll have a channel page, and a channel is basically like a category. Forums channel page. This will be similar to an index page. It'll just be focused by category. Super easy to read. Good code editor. SEO will be important. Emoji. Blah blah. Leaderboards. Okay, so basically, let's not worry about leaderboards at the beginning of this project. This just adds a lot of overwhelming stuff we don't need to get into. We could worry about things like XP down the road as well. So we've got the channel page, we've got the index page. Then we need to have a specific, for the forum post. So when you open up a forum post, you need to be able to see, all the details and then all the answers. So we'll do a forum detailed. You can see that there's a lot of similarity here, right? It kind of follows the CRUD mentality because a lot of these just come back to CRUD. This is what I was saying when we did the How to Build a Blog with Laravel series. You've got your create, create, read, update, delete. And so you just kind of need it. If you remember the views we would make, we would basically have an index page that showed all of them. Then you would have a show page that showed the specific information. Then you would have an edit page that allowed you to edit them. And that was basically it, okay? So you basically see that you've got these three for everything. So you've got the index, the edit, you have a create page, like when you're creating a new one. So this is like a forum to allow you to submit a new resource. You can edit that resource, you can show that individual resource, and then you have an index for that resource. So we have basically the same thing for each of these. So, share post, we have the index. You can submit it. You could edit it. So we might need to do the edit post. We'll worry about that down the road because that's going to be pretty similar to submit. And then show the individual one, right? And that's going to be kind of the same thing here for each of these. So this is going to show in the individual forum posts, detailed individual forum or post. And that's basically it. So you got a lot of that. That's everything. That's all the basic pages that we've got. Yep, that's everything. So what else do we need? Other than that, you're going to have basically your public user profile. Where do we put that? I didn't want to forget it. So let's put that down here. And then we're going to have edit user profile. That's for private, so you guys can edit it. And I'm just looking real quick if there's anything else. I think that's a pretty good start. Those are kind of the pages that we need. You can see there's a lot going on in this project. This is a pretty in-depth project. We've got a lot going on. So we've got our homepage. We can basically let's kind of categorize these together. Homepage, login, register. We'll do all these here at the beginning. This will be kind of like phase one. Let's go ahead and clear this out. And what we're going to do here is we're going to do stage one. So we'll have our first stage will be our home pages, or our main pages, let's call it that. Login, register, home page. We can do the TOS, privacy policy at the end. Contact form, we can do that at the end. That'll basically be, let's go through it real quick. So we'll say miscellaneous pages, like I'd mentioned. Then you'll have your subscribe. We'll do TOS, and then we'll do privacy. We'll do the contact form at the end too. Search results. Yeah, let's do that at the end so that way we'll already have content as well. search results. Okay, and then the next phase, so after we get the main pages done, we want to do the posts. This is basically the blog posts. So the first thing, let's go ahead and just do text post first. Let's get that done first because that'll be easy. Then once we have that, let's go ahead and do a video post. Once we have that, let's go through and do show all the posts by a category skill. It's pretty easy. Category post video. After that, let's go and do the series view to show all the videos in a series. And then that'll basically finish our blog posts. Next, we've got basically this whole sharing. What did we call it here? We've got the discuss and we've got the share section. We'll probably do share first because share is really easy. So we can fly through that pretty easy. So let's go through and do that. We'll do share section. Once we get this done, we will do, share pages. Okay. Okay, with share, we also have the resources. Okay. Oh, we already have index. Resources detailed. Perfect. And that's basically the share section. Now we've got the And now we've got the discuss section. So discuss section, what we want to do here is we can actually go through and get this stuff out of the way first. The, let's see, share posts. Yeah, we can do all these share. So, no, wait. So we can actually go through and do video voting. Index, we'll get the index done first. Video voting, oops. Okay, so that's all the video voting, and now we do forums. So we'll have the forums index, we'll have the forums channels, forums post, and submit new forum. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so that's basically it. That sums it up for the most part. We still do have the user profiles. We actually probably want to do user profiles up here while we're doing this other stuff. So we'll do user public profile and then user edit profile, and then we'll do user. So we'll just basically handle this authentication pretty early on. And then we'll do user private or whatever, detailed show. This is basically when you're showing a user. So there we go. That's basically, for the most part, that covers everything that we would need to do, right? So this is going to be basically our outline going forward. So what I would now do is I would go take this information, send it to the client. I would put a little more detail on this normally. I would say, for example, how are we registering it? And I would break each of these elements down more to what we need on here. So I would say Facebook login, right? Twitter login. And I would also, when I submit this to the client, I would break each of these sections into its own section of the scope of work. I might do this down the road. I might have to do this to show you guys a little better what I mean with scope of work. But this is such a huge project that I don't want to get too in the weeds with all this stuff. And then with these, I would say, hey, from the client, we need your API key, right? And then every time you put something we need from the client, I would also, at the end of the scope of work, you want to re-outline everything that you need from the client right above where they sign. So you say, hey, this is what we need from you guys. These are all the elements. And then have them sign for the whole thing, but underneath that, that'll be the final thing. And this lists everything that you need from them. So some of this we're going to figure out along the way, but we will actually start putting these together now. In the next video, I want to take these and I want to go down each of these pages, and we're going to wireframe out each of these pages in the next few videos. After we get the wireframes done, then we're going to go through and actually start designing it and creating all of that. We'll go through some database architecture and then start coding. So I know it seems like we're dragging this out, but we're not. This is how you would design a website. If you really want a website done correctly, and it's more than just a static website's a lot easier to work with. But when you start getting all these different resources talking to each other, where you've got forum posts that actually post onto the individual blog posts, and you've got all the these forums linked to public profiles and different things like that. Once you start worrying about all these interlinking elements, you really need to do them correctly. You need to follow this step accurately, okay? So that's why I'm going through all this, and I want to show you guys how you would do it, because you don't see this a lot online. You generally just see people start jumping in and creating a website. And so this is actually, as boring and unnecessary it might feel like it is, it's incredibly important and necessary. Okay, so that's all I got for you guys in today's video. Let's now dive into some of the fun stuff. We can start wireframing and designing, and this is actually going to really come to life, and I think it'll be a lot more fun for you guys. So that's all I got. Let's see you guys in the next video.